WCLU news coverage of the 2020 general election is brought to you in part by Glasgow Prescription Center.
The Glasgow Prescription Center is proud to be your whole life pharmacy because our goal is to provide the best pharmaceutical and home medical care to every patient that comes in our door. Log online to glasgowrx.com or call 270-651-8889 to find out how Glasgow Prescription Center can serve you.
Well, we welcome you today, Patrick. Being an incumbent on the Glasgow City Council, you're up for re-election. But first, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I've had a good time here at WCLU. We're having a big time. If life was fun like this everywhere, my day would go a lot easier, but I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Sure. We want to, of course, highlight a little bit about who you are as a person, and I know you've been on the council for a few years now, and so for those that are watching this, perhaps they don't know much about you. They just know you're on the council, or maybe people want to know more about some different things going on. So really today, just kind of diving in, I want to really focus on the last, what'll be 2 years in January that you've been in this term only. So the first thing, let's talk a little bit about just who you are. So maybe someone's not met you before. Who are you, Patrick Gaunce?
All right, well, I'll give you the clean version. So I've lived in Glasgow since I was 1963. I was 3 years old. Went to school at Glasgow, graduated. We opened some pizza restaurants, and fortunately I was able to come back and I try to pour back into the community that was good to me. Most of my time now is spent with disadvantaged families, youth, especially at-risk youth, whether it's foster care or food deprived or whatever. But that's my only goal, is to try to leave this place a little bit better than I found it.
Sure, and being on the council, before we get into maybe some more technical policy type things, what do you think over the last 2 years has been an inspiration for you, or an attempt by you to maybe make this a better place for people?
You know, I think that what I try to bring to anything that I'm at is just honesty and straightforwardness. And some people are not ready for that, and some people manage in different ways. But I think we have the potential of a community to be a really good community. But I think, like the nation, like our state, like our city, until we all come together for the betterment of everybody, we're going to struggle. So it is interesting to learn the inner workings of the city and the personalities of the people that goes on there and what's important to each person. And I think the key is to try to find what's important to you and focus on that, and not try to focus on making every topic important.
Sure, and as an incumbent, having been involved the last year and a half at this point, or a little over that, some big ideas have come up, but I think from the public standpoint, and sometimes even from people in the community that probably don't gauge the political process as well as they maybe need to understand fully what's going on. Some of those big ideas that I'm thinking about that a lot of people had heard about but maybe didn't even look into. I'm talking like last January with the water recreation portion. We're talking the downtown park. Those big ideas can lead to advantages for our community. So what I want you to do is clarify, maybe from your point of view, how those ideas, I see and I get calls from people, well, why are they focusing on that? That doesn't make any sense. Right. But perhaps it does, or, maybe those wouldn't be ideas that you're talking about.
Well, my stance, and this will be Patrick's opinion, but I try to learn from other communities that have been successful. There's not been an original idea around here for 100 years. So you try to learn and see what the people that are being successful are. If you want to go 30 miles to the south in Bowling Green, their quality of life, that's a big issue of how they started, and they bonded money for their parks, and they made the quality of life to where factories that moved in, there was stuff for their kids to do. It's been misquoted and misrepresented, but the water park out at American Legion, the pool's 40, 50 years old. So something's going to have to be done, spend $1 million probably by the time you just get it back to today's world. My plan was to take $6.5 million and fix all of our parks. Now, we've taken some money and fixed some of the parks, which Twyman looks great, but Legion Park was going to be about $3.5 million. It was going to have water slides, picnic areas, green space, a brand new pool house. From the people in Frankfort that said, leaders and people in Bowling Green and E-Town, hey, you really need to do that. Nobody really wants to spend the money, which I respect that. We've all got to vote and we got to decide that. So then we said, hey, let's do an amphitheater, let's do farmer's market, splash pad, walking trail, playgrounds, because basically where you got to go is you got to go to that spot and draw a circle in 2 miles where kids can walk. And when kids have nothing to do and families have nothing to do, they either A, give up hope, or they find something to do that's not as constructive. But there are powers that be in this town that they don't really, for me, I don't know that they want progress because everything costs. And, you know, the last 2 projects I've been on, hey, you can't take any money out of landfill, you can't take any money out of landfill. Well, we just took money out of landfill to make our budget. So that statement was not correct. It just, they didn't want to take it out for that project. And I think the misnomer of where you go to is until you got a new shiny penny that people say, hey, that's pretty cool. No, you know, factories coming in, and I ask people, because I used to be on the idea board, the economic. The first thing I want to see is parks. And back then, I was kind of embarrassed to take them around. Second thing is they want to know about the school systems. Third thing is they want to know about the hospital. We're knocking it out of the park with school systems and the hospital. But when you take people around to the parks and you say, and they're like, well, it doesn't look like it's been updated for a while. So that's Patrick's opinion. There's other opinions. If we get 5 people voting on the city council, maybe we'll get a water park, maybe we'll get an amphitheater, maybe we'll get a farmer's market. But you can't be afraid to grow. And so that would be the way I'd answer that.
What would you say has really been paramount in this term specifically?
I think we had a lot of hope, and probably the most prevalent one was the hope of the amphitheater, farmers market, because we had local private citizens put money in. We had the money in the accounts. It just didn't seem like we could get together on that. The occupational tax, we probably honestly do need to raise occupational tax at the right time. And in our business, we disciplined in the good times. We didn't kick people when they're down. And that's why I vote against the tax right now, because people are struggling. It's a bad optics. I mean, I'm going to charge you more, and people say, well, it's only $5 a week. Well, come with me sometime, and $5 a week feeds a family for a day or two. So I understood from the other night that you can't spare people, but anybody making $20,000 or below, they don't need any more tax on them. They don't need anything. But even if I said, hey, which if I was king for the day, in the right time, I'd raise the taxes. But I'd raise it in this manner. And Oklahoma City is a great case study if anybody wants to take the time to read it. I'd raise the taxes. I'd set aside that money for X. I would let all the taxpayers know this is where I'm spending your money at. And they did that at downtown Oklahoma City. Now they got an NBA team down there. They got a river walk. And each time it comes up, they have a sunset on it. We'll do this for 3 years, and this is what we're going to buy out of it. This is what we're going to build out of it. And every year now the citizens are wanting to be taxed again because they believe in the leadership that's going to even broaden Oklahoma City to a better place. And I think that's what we've got to do. We can't just say, I want to raise taxes, and we're just going to throw it in the general fund. I think you got to say, I'm going to raise taxes, and it's $1 million, and here's where we're going to build you a new pool. We're going to build a park. We're going to paint a mural. We're going to do whatever. But people don't just want to say, hey, I'm just going to give you more money, because they don't believe that, you need more money. But if you can show them what you're going to do with it, people still may not like it, but they'll swallow it a whole lot better.
We appreciate you coming in today. I know this is always a good thing to do, just to talk with the candidate.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me a chance to express, how I feel, and I hope anybody that if you like what I've been doing, vote for me. If you don't like what I've been doing, don't vote for me. And because I'm going to try to help the community, whether I'm on city council or not. But I am trying to make a difference, and I appreciate you taking the time with all the city council to, because I think everybody has a right to be heard and understood. And then once that's out there, everybody can vote their heart. So.
Sure. Well, we appreciate it again. And
Yes, sir.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck.
Hey, thank you a lot.
Hi, I'm Brennan Crane, News Director for WCLU Radio. Thank you for watching this portion of our 2020 election coverage. Visit us at WCLUradio.com and online at Facebook and Twitter for the latest and breaking news updates.